So this video is for Tater Tot. You know who you are. This is the makeup tutorial. First, we're going to start off with face primer. I only do it in my T-zone area, and while we let that dry, I'm going to go in with my brow gel, and we're going to go ahead and slick our eyebrows down. If you want to go ahead and fill your eyebrows in, go ahead and do that, but I usually don't. I'm going to go in with a full coverage concealer under my eyes so I can hide those dark circles. I go around my nose, cover up blemishes, and my chin. I usually have little blemish spots on my forehead, but I don't actually like highlight my forehead. But since I got blemishes, I did that. Then we're gonna go in with our liquid contour. If you have a cream one, that's fine too. And I go under my cheekbones and on my little baby forehead. Take some blush and I use my finger and I add it to my cheekbones, upper cheekbones. A little bit of setting spray. This will kind of just help bring everything together. And now we're going to start blending out our contour. It looks harsh, but it's going to make sense in the end, I promise. Then with our finger again, we're going to go ahead and melt that blush into our face. Now this part is important. Make sure that when you're blending out your concealer on your under eyes that you kind of take it into the blush. You don't want there to be like a line of separation, so you kind of just bring everything in together. And make sure you blend really well. If you think that you didn't blend your makeup enough, then just keep on blending. Not too much though, because you don't want to like take the foundation off or concealer off. Also, when you're doing your concealer, when you're blending it out, make sure you're doing that dotting motion that you see me doing. Now I'm going to go in with a little bit more concealer, but this one is more of a brightening concealer, and I'm only going to keep this in the inner corners because I just want to brighten up the inner corners of my eye. Go in with a little bit more setting spray, just a little bit. You don't want to saturate your face. And yeah, you see, keep that in the center. Boop, boop, right there. You see them stippling motions? Yeah, that's to make sure that you don't move the concealer too much. I'm gonna go ahead and blend out those edges on the liquid contour. I like to add a little bit more blush when I'm using that specific color because this one is more pink and the other one is more berry. I did add a little bit more of the concealer to my under eye because I felt like my dark circles were peeking through, and I just kind of also melted that in with the blush. Now when you're adding your foundation, make sure that your foundation brush really gets a full like coverage of the foundation on the brush, because when you apply it to your face, you want to do those pressing motions again, same thing as you did under your eyes, because you want it to be as even of a finish as possible and to be skin-like. And make sure that when you're adding your foundation that you only really go over the areas that wasn't concealed, and you just kind of blend out the edges. Before you do setting powder, make sure that your under eyes has no creases, because you don't want to set those creases under your eyes. It's not gonna look good, I promise. And I'm only adding setting powder on the areas that I contoured, because I'm gonna go in with the finishing powder that is more my skin tone on the outer areas of my face, and then on top of the setting powder on my contoured area. This is just so that everything looks skin-like. Make sure that you press the powder in, and anything that's left over, you brush it off with a dust brush or a little fluffy brush, because you don't want to really bake. That's going to make your under eyes dry, and it's going to add to creasing, and we don't want to crease. Then going in with my powdered bronzer, I'm going to go over anywhere that I contoured. So yeah, under my cheekbones and on my forehead. Anywhere that you put cream products, make sure that you put a powdered product also. Then with my finishing powder, I'm just going to use a really big fluffy brush and powder my entire face. I forgot to add blush, powdered blush, so that's what I'm doing. Usually you do that before the setting powder. But anyway, make sure you add in your setting spray. Get nice and dewy. And then let that set Look at the skin, boom, everything blended, period. And then going with your finishing spray. This is to lock everything in. Anyways, that's it. Love you. Bye.